Well, our friendly Crusaders are in trouble again here at Arsuf. After they started pulling away from the light cavalry, the archers finally attacked. And boy, did they have an impact. And again, I haven't played it out completely, but even without the... I don't think I did it before. I don't think I did the fire and attack at the same time with the Sudanese. The Bedouins can do that. The combination of the two, coming in, being able to fire, and knowing that they can stay there, not being scared. That's the big difference. The normal archers in this game, except Men of Iron, it was a little different because they were just so potent. But in this one, they don't have tremendous firepower. But knowing you can walk forward, shoot something, and if you disorder it, you're safe from them comparatively. That's huge. They can use the archers the way the light cav are being used, the horse archers, but without the -2 penalty and without the ability to retreat as easily. They almost got to eliminate the light cav that the Templars have, but they've got a bad roll. If they'd gotten just about any result, well, other than a disorder, if they'd gotten a retreat result, they would have destroyed it. It couldn't retreat before combat because it was so close to surrounded. They chose not to make attacks over here. They did attack this crossbow unit, but didn't get an effect on it. So, you know, they're kind of pummeling in, and we also see the Mamluk Guard moving forward, getting ready to kind of provide the coup d'etat, using coup d'etat, coup de grace. It doesn't seem worth bringing that medium cav up. It's not big enough to have. It's not going to have the same effect the Mamluks do, and it's just not. This game, the way it works, you have a limited number of things you can commit. It almost forces you into keeping reserves. Well, obviously the Crusaders don't have reserves, but you see, I mean, I can't move my Saracens forward. Point-wise, Saracen points are up to 18 now. I believe we only have to get them to 25 to win. So, and we're beginning to shoot things like the standard and the wagons, and just, you know, really disrupting the Crusaders' ability to keep fighting. So the Crusaders are trying to have their revenge. I unleashed the Templars, and they pushed aside really sort of the strongest of those archers. They may think that they're safe, and they're safe against the infantry, but a couple of them, one got retired, one's over in the dead pile. They just can't face a charging knight. Speaking of charging knights, Richard took a continuation and is going to be launching attacks all along the rear. Now this is just the infantry, the Egyptian infantry, but they want to clear these archers out and get their way on the road. It looks ugly though still. They've got these cav behind them. They got this other cav, which they're just planning on ignoring at this point. It is too ineffectual to really worry about it in the same way as the heavy cav that's sneaking up their butt. Only 2 continuations. Richard was unable to roll. I don't know what he needed, about a 3 or something, to swoop in, maybe finish this off. But they did a pretty good number on the archers. Templars got to go again, smashed them here. Victory points are now equal at 18. Of course, Crusaders need more to win. They get points for getting people off the map, so if they can just make forward progress, that's probably pretty good. We got a knight out here. It's kind of exposed. He's probably dead. And for the most part, the knights are all facing the heavy cav now. So in terms of they managed to get turned around, and they won't be schwacked in the back that way. It's definitely turning out kind of interesting. So the Saracens go for some cheek points and smack the wagons. There were 2 wagons that were disordered there in hand-to-hand combat. They're now 1 point away from winning the game. It looks impossible for the Crusaders to get out of this without losing at least 1 unit or something. So I think it's over. But they didn't get a continuation. They were hoping to get their heavy cav into this. So we're going to go into the Crusader turn. So I see 2 things that have to be done. And I played the Templars to attack and clear some of the archers out. Now Richard is charging to break up those archers so he can try to get through. And he's trying to disrupt the Mamluk line. Now this is vainglorious. And there's a good chance Richard's going down himself there. But it's about the only option I see at this point. And the game is over. Richard died charging. There was a countercharge attempt on him. I was expecting this attack to do a lot better than it did, even if it was risking him. It turned out he rolled a 0, as well as having the countercharge. Horrible, horrible placement. When we look over here, they've mainly cleared the archers out of the way. The route would have been open, but now, with the loss of the king and their great leader, they're fleeing. And there's only one way to go, the way they were heading, but they're probably going to leave their wagons behind in this, that, and the other, and that probably spells doom to this army. The best it can do is hope to get evacuated navally. Alright, so that's the end of this battle. What do I think of it? With all the special rules, and there aren't all that many, but there are enough, it feels too heavy, too specialized for the rest of the series. But it is an interesting puzzle, how to get the Crusader army off the map before they get abused. And can you win the battle? I think the answer is you can win the battle. I just probably misplayed the Crusaders pretty heavily. I still don't have an answer to how to deal with these. Even weak ones are just so annoying. Beyond that, though, I find it one of the more interesting of the challenges in the game. Out of the whole set of scenarios, I find this one of the more intriguing of them. But in the sense that it's not of the rest of the series in the same way, it kind of disappoints a little. There's thoughts that have to be made here that are very different, I think, from what most of what is handled. Also, the rules for this particular one feel a little shakier, although the fact that I missed that Richard was listed directly makes me wonder if it's just me. I don't know if there was anything terribly disturbing here. So there are kind of some iffy things, like what happens if a wagon gets retired? I had these feelings of, geez, I just don't know. And they're not, I think, well explained. I'm guessing the wagons can be rallied, but what about the Carroccio? Can that be rallied? I don't know. I'm not sure how much, if I with one playing can come up with that many questions about it, I'm not sure how much of this was adequately play tested, this particular scenario, just with all of its special rules. Also, this slow march feels kind of funny. It feels like the Crusaders can take their free activation that way and could right away do it again with activating Richard if they really, really wanted to do it. That might be the way to win, is to get more space that way, because the way with everything set up back here, heading down. If this battle was shifted over a little bit more, maybe the archers never would have gotten there in time. It was a close run thing as it was for them to slam in there. But yeah, all right. I'll come back with a review of the whole boxed set.